Hey everybody, back again. I dropped a power rankings list yesterday and I realized I made some mistakes in terms of as I was going, I lost count and such, and I ended up confusing a few teams in the middle of the pack. One team I did not confuse. So my list at the end of the day was Indiana, Minnesota, the Liberty, the Sparks. Yes, the Sparks at 4, the Dream at 5, the Mercury at 6, the Storm at 7, the Aces at 8. Who the hell was after that? The Aces at 8. Dallas at 9, Chicago 10, Washington 11, Connecticut 12, and Golden State 13. And I had some people that came back at me with some comments, and I'm going to talk about those right now. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Rudy's Rant, powered by Coming Out of the Podcast, where we talk facts and feelings. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Show. AKA Rudy the Hammer. I welcome you all back. For those of you who are new to the channel, please be sure to like, subscribe, follow, hit that bell, leave a comment, all that good stuff. I appreciate y'all jumping on with me today. For those of you who are new, leave a comment, like the video. The likes and the comments are what make us go. I see so many views. I don't see enough likes. If there's one ask I have of you people, one ask. If you watch the video, just like it. Hell, dislike it. But have an action, an actionable item. That's all. Like, dislike, comment. Those actionable items, that's what I ask you for because you took the time to watch it. And when I got 4,000 views and 300 likes, come on, folks. Help me out, please. That's all I ask. But let's talk about this because I got a couple of comments and I'm going to read the comments. I'm going to read the one there was one specific comment that kind of almost took a hit at me, and I understand people are so manipulated by what they hear on television and from what national people say. This comment, well, LOL, were you drunk or high when you made this list? You have the Aces at 8 with 4 starting all-stars in their lineup. They should be no lower than 4. Everything else is negotiable. What were you thinking having the Aces at 8? Loyd is a better scorer than Plum, and she is taller. All right. I'm going to show you something that you might have forgotten. And I'm going to respond to it as such. This is last year's final standings in the WNBA. I gotta get some of these rings, man. I like that. This ring. Whew, this ring. Whew. Anyone want to hook me up, man? I'd appreciate that. Yeah. Okay, let's look at the final standings. Final standings. WNBA. New York Liberty number 1. Minnesota number 2. Connecticut 3. Who's that here? That is the Las Vegas Aces. The Las Vegas Aces. Okay. This is not the same team from last season. What they've got right now is not the same team. And when I made this list last night, the question that remained was, where do Tiffany Hayes, and where do Tiffany Hayes and Alicia Clark end up? Today we know the answer. Alicia Clark went back to Seattle. That's a loss. Tiffany Hayes went to Golden State. That's a loss. That could have me moving Golden State up to 12, potentially ahead of Connecticut. But that is a loss. So you just lost 2 bench players. In fact, Tiffany Hayes was the 6th woman of the year, I believe, last season, or one of the best bench play 6 women in the league. 6, yeah. She was the 6th woman of the year. 6th woman of the year. I mean, I don't want to remind you, but that means she's probably kind of important. Probably kind of important. And so this person then responds with, she is a better scorer. I replied, they were 4 last year and got worse. But hey, you believe what you want, so I'll be high as they have an old point guard, an injury prone two, and a bricklayer they traded for and lost their six man. And then I'll say, and Loyd is not a better scorer. She just takes more shots. She's a volume player, and she won't have that volume in Vegas. She shoots 36, 37% and 25 to 28 from three. The reply I got just now that I'm seeing for the first time is she is a better scorer. She just had a bad year last year. Even if so, they are still no lower than the fourth best team with Asia Wilson on it. Disrespectful to have them at 8 with the best player in the league and 3 championship vet all-stars. All right. Oh my God. This is where I respect people's comments, and I'm gonna reply to this individual, but I'm also gonna reply right here. So you'll get a whole video dedicated to you. And there's all kinds of other comments on here and so forth. Um, I had someone reply and have Vegas at 4. Um, hey, that's fine. You can disagree with me all you want. I'm not worried about all that. That's why we can all do this. And there are some comments that talks about correcting officiating. Like if they don't correct the officiating, CC might not make it through the season. That's just ridiculous. Like folks, she made it through the season last year. You need to relax. There's now you're becoming a bit of a victim. You're playing the victim card. Oh my God, like it's fucking basketball. Take a fucking chill. I keep reminding you that Cece's not some innocent damsel in distress who is never getting her licks in. This is hooping. She's gonna get fouled. It is what it is. And if you're gonna spend her entire career complaining about, oh my God, they hit her too hard. Oh my word, everyone is toxic and everyone is this and everyone is that. You're gonna live a very, very difficult life for the duration of Caitlin Clark's career. Yeah, did she take some shots last year? Yes. So what? And it's like the only person you forget that she took the shot, the only person that you remember she taking the shots from are 2 players. The rest of them y'all forgot, and you'd have them on your team right now. As has been the case with now Marina Mabrey has demanded a trade. And might she be the toxic trait character in the WNBA, always wanting to be traded? I mean, I don't know. Why don't you tell me? Because I'll tell you this, Marina Mabrey, if she gets traded again, just to let you know, will have been on her 4th team in 5 years. Just think about that. Her 4th team in 5 years. Dallas 22, Chicago 23, 24. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, now. 4th team in 4 years. Dallas 22, Chicago 23, Chicago and Connecticut in 24. That's 3. She wants to be traded? That would be 4. Be honest, people. Just be honest. But I don't want to hear. I don't need to be hearing all this stuff about if they don't fix the officiating. The officiating in the WNBA is the officiating in the WNBA. It's not good. It's never going to be good. And if you don't just accept that, you're going to be living a very miserable life because there will be fouls, there will be travels, there will be things that are not called. And hell, for Christ's sakes, people, should I remind you? Should I remind you? This is Game 5 of the WNBA Finals. Oh, travel! Look at this. Oh. And then followed up. Should I remind you? The WNBA Finals ended that way. You're worried about some foul calls in the regular season? They can't even get a fucking travel correct in front of them which directly determined who won the championship. So I would say take a breath, relax. That will be what it will be, and it'll work itself out because at the end of the day, Caitlin Clark was still a rookie last year. And yeah, they probably let stuff go because she was a rookie. They wanted her to get some licks and learn some lessons. Probably. I think you're going to see a lot of differences. She now has vet teammates, added Bonner, adding Cunningham, adding Howard. Those vet teammates will change the way certain things are done. She had no people on her team that would enforce anything that would get in someone's face, including her center, who plays like a freaking a marshmallow when it comes to physicality. She's got players like that who have attitude, who have mouth, who are going to go at you. So if someone takes a crap shot at pot shot at Clark, they'll get up and do something for her. At the same time, stop acting like she's some fucking damsel in distress. She's not. She's a dog. She gets her cracks in. You just ignore them. You just ignore them. I'm letting you know. Be objective. She gets those cracks in. She gets those backhanded slaps into someone's face, and she knows what she's doing. Trust. She's been playing ball longer than you've been watching it, probably. But hey, if you've been watching it longer, she's been playing ball longer than you've been playing ball and played it at a higher level than you've ever played it. So she knows how to get her cracks in. All right. But let's talk about this Vegas deal because I'm going to show you something right now. This right now is the Vegas roster. That's the roster for Vegas right now. So they've got 4 All-Stars. Whoop-de-doo. Whoop-de-doo, whoop-de-doo, whoop-de-doo. This one here sucks. Sucks. Who cares? Sucks. So what? This is essentially the Indiana Fever roster last season. This is the Indiana Fever roster last season. No bench, no depth. And everybody else got better. And I would sit here and I will say it again. She is not better than Kelsey Plum. She is injured constantly. She ain't that good. Let's do another experiment. Chelsea Gray is 32 years old. She will be 33 in October. She is not the player that she once was. She is getting older. Her numbers have dropped. Her assist numbers are mid-level. They're 5.0, 4.9 last year. Massive drop. Scoring dropped by 7 points. Shooting 41%. 33.8 from 3. Really? Really? In fact, if you want to be 1,000% consistent on stuff involving her, she's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. She's been in the league 11 years. She's been in the All-Star game 6 times. She somehow went to the All-Star game last year despite barely playing, missing half of the first half of the season, and yet made the All-Star team shooting 40%, 41%. But okay, you keep believing that. Still don't know what's going to be with Jackie Young's health. She's getting hurt and unrivaled. Numbers last year took a dip from the year before. Shooting percentage went down 9%. From 3 went down 11%. Again, I'm just giving you the numbers and the facts. She's on a downward trend. She had one really solid year. That was 23. Her 22 year, 15, 9, and 4. I mean, think about this 15, 9, and 47.6. She was the number one pick in the draft in 19. Kelsey Mitchell's better than her, right? Right? Yeah, by a lot, by a lot. You look at this other stuff. I mean, she's the beneficiary of playing her entire career with Asia Wilson. All right. Like these are the facts. Her numbers have gone the wrong direction. It's just that simple. Not a complicated situation here. And now we look at this one here who people want to sit here and tell me is a better scorer, a better player, all that good stuff. Well, I'm going to show you this bad year that she had because remember what do I practice? What do I practice, people? What do I practice? Facts over motherfucking feelings. Jewell Loyd, and I'm gonna make it tight for you to look at so you don't tell me that I'm out of my mind because I think it's important to see the picture at hand. Right here. Share screen. No point in beating around the bush. Take a look right here. You see right here? You see right here? Remember, you said that this person here says that she is just had a bad year. Where the hell did it go? Here we go. In 22, she shot 39.6% from the field and 38.5 from three. She averaged 16.3 points per game. Then in 23, she went up to 24.7. Why? Because her shots went from 14.1 to 20.3. She shot 37% from the field and 35.6 from three. Last year, her shots went down by 5 shots per game. I'm sorry, her points went down 5. So she averaged 19.7. Her shots went down 3.5 shots per game. Her shooting percentage went down again. And her three-point shooting is in the toilet, 27.4. She is what is known as a volume player, volume shooter, volume scorer. Those are otherwise known as inefficient players. Career-wise, 42, 44, 39, 42, 43, 43, 43, 41. She has never been a markswoman. She's never been efficient. And her career is 40.2%, with the last 3 seasons going from 39.6 to 37 to 36. That is what is known as a downward trend. That is not something that turns around when you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years into your basketball playing career. It just doesn't turn around that way. She's 31. She'll be 32 in October. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, they now have another number 1 pick, first overall pick on their team. So they replaced one with another. Let's show the other one. Just so you see the difference, since I don't know. You want to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. This one here, this is Kelsey Plum. Oh, the all-time leading scorer in college women's basketball until Caitlin Clark broke her record last year, or whatever, in February of last year. This was the all-time leading scorer, and you're gonna sit here and tell me that Jewell Loyd is a better scorer than the second all-time leading scorer in college women's basketball history? Yeah, okay. So let's look at the difference. 14. Her first 3 years, played like a young player. She's just hitting her prime. She's in her prime right now. She's in her prime. She's 30, but she's just hitting her prime, realistically. Okay? 14-8, 20, 18-7, 17-8. This correlates with Asia Wilson's shots going up and her usage going up. But she's never taken really more than 11 to 14 shots a game in the WNBA. Look at her shooting percentages: 43.7, 46, 47.5, 42.3. Yeah, she went down a little bit last year. That downward for her is still 6.3% better than Jewell Loyd last year. 3-point shooting: 38.6, 42, 38.9, 38.6.8. Still, from based on last year, almost 10 percentage points better than Jewell Loyd. And you're going to sit here and try to tell me that Jewell Loyd is a better player than Kelsey Plum? Get out of here. If she takes 14 shots a game in Vegas next year with her same efficiency numbers, she will average about 12 points per game. Not Kelsey Plum, Jewell Loyd. That is what will happen next season if she plays with that same efficiency, because that efficiency has been doing this over 3 years. Over 3 years. Do not tell me about how much better Jewell Loyd is than Kelsey Plum. All of that said, they got no bench. They've got no depth. They're not better than they were last year. That's how you determine a power ranking. How much better are you than you were last year, or worse? And how much did everyone get around you get better? So let's consider this for a second. Once again, let's go back to this list right here. Let's go back to this list. Remember what you said. Remember what was said to me. This is what I love to do because this is fun for me. And you know what? It's all fun and games. But let's take a look, because I was high, right? Vegas finished 2 games ahead of Seattle. Is Vegas better today than Seattle is? And I had Seattle at 7. You want to know why Seattle's dropping from 5 to 7? Because they still lost their leading scorer off last year's team. Jewell Loyd was their leading scorer. They don't have the same weapons they had last year, but they now have the number 2 pick in the draft and got rid of a crybaby. Remember, y'all are very quick to talk about Kennedy Carter, but Jewell Loyd forced her way out of Seattle. She forced her way out of Seattle. Okay? Let's talk about this. So I moved them to 7. They got the number 2 pick in the draft, which means they're going to end up with a ball player who can produce. And many of y'all believe it's Olivia Miles. Maybe it is. Or maybe it's somebody else. I don't know who it is. I don't know who it will be. Let's say it's Paige Beckers, who I think I would stay away from with a 10-foot pole, because I don't think her career will last 5 years. But if Paige Beckers can stay healthy, she makes Seattle better. She makes Seattle better than Vegas. Did Indiana get better? I think we all know the answer to that. Is New York the same? Pretty much. Is Minnesota the same? Pretty much. Connecticut, they're going to plummet. So Indiana's better. Did Phoenix get better? Maybe. Did Atlanta get better? Absolutely. So they got better. They probably got better. Like, I would say, yeah, they got better. They absolutely got better. They'll be about the same when you add their pick, or maybe it's a little bit worse, but they lost their entire bench. If you want to argue semantics and say that Vegas is number 7 or 6 instead of 8, go ahead. Do not sit here and tell me they're the 4th best team in the WNBA next year. Not a chance. Not right now. Not as constructed. They are Indiana last year. They are Indiana last year. Indiana had 3 All-Stars last year. Clark, Mitchell, Boston. And what did that do for them? 20 and 20 because you need people who can play off the bench and produce off the bench. If you don't have that, you're not going to be good no matter how good your first three are because they can't play 40 every game. And on top of that, they still need someone to pass the ball to. You can't play 5-on-3 every game or 3-on-5. And on top of that, defensively, not be very good. Vegas has nothing off their bench. Nothing. They got 3 guards and a big. And the homegirl that came over, Cheyenne, whatever her name is, she's going to start at the 4. Their bench is non-existent. Asia Wilson gets into foul trouble, they're going to get run off the floor. They'll get crushed. So, yes, and I gave the Los Angeles Sparks a huge bump because they got a lot better. A lot better. I gave them a bump. They got better. I think they did nothing. These are basically the same 10, 11, whatever. But I think the Dream got much better with Griner and Brianna Jones. I think Phoenix got better, even though they're losing Brittany Griner because they've added, and you still don't know what Diana Taurasi is going to do. They got worse, but did they get worse to this? They were only 2 games behind them last year. So, again, you can argue it with me. I'm cool with it. You can say what you want. This is the one team that we know they got really, really bad. And they're going to collect. They're going to be well the hell down here. Who knows? Maybe they surprise people. I don't know. But they're going to fall big time. Now, if Marina Mabrey ends up in Vegas, does that change something? Yeah. If Kennedy Carter ends up in Vegas now that they've really been gutted, is that going to change something? Yeah. This is a power ranking as of yesterday. And in fact, if I made it today, my opinion of yesterday is actually stronger today than it was yesterday. But we can disagree, and I appreciate the opportunity to disagree with you. I appreciate the opportunity to have the conversation with you. I appreciate all of that. It's all good. It is all good at all times. We can always talk about these topics, and we can always go back and forth. I've got no problem with it. I mean, just reading some of these comments, though, I think some of y'all are silly. But hey, you doesn't deserve to be signed. She's toxic. Like, dude, come on. Come on. I don't think none of y'all played football. That's the dang sure. Because my God, it's like this women's thing with sports is just different. This is the one thing I'm never going to get used to because don't ask to be treated the same, but then come up with bullshit about how, oh, she's so toxic. Terrell Owens was toxic. Terrell Owens played 16 years in the NFL. I mean, Terrell Owens was considered toxic. Crybaby. I'm sorry, 15 years in the NFL. One of the 3 best receivers in the history of professional football. Come on. Come on. Aaron Rodgers, toxic. Crybaby. One of the greatest quarterbacks in football history. Dennis Rodman, toxic. People wanted him on their team to win championships. But this is a women's basketball thing, and y'all just whatever. This is what y'all live by. You can keep living by it. I don't live by that thing. I think if she's on some certain teams, she helps them a great deal, and they're big time. They're big time. So some people agree with me. I think most people would agree that Indiana's number 1. So why are you worried about who's number 4? Unless you're a Vegas fan, if you're a Vegas fan, you need to take a look at what happened to Vegas. They got nothing left. Off their bench is dead. They have nothing, people. There's not a substantive person left out there besides Marina Mabrey. And let me ask you this question. The only way that Vegas can get Marina Mabrey is by trade. What will they trade to get her? They've got nothing to trade. They've got nothing to trade. 0. So the odds of them getting Marina Mabrey are very slim because Connecticut's not going to give her away for Skittles like the Miami Heat just did Jimmy Butler. We shall see what happens. But those are my thoughts. That's my response. And I appreciate y'all jumping on and commenting. I think that Indiana got so much better, and you need to stop worrying about officiating because officiating impacted the WNBA finals, people. And Caitlin Clark's not some damsel in distress who needs to be hugged at all times. But that's all I got. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is Rudy's Rant. Oh, yeah, by the way, leave a comment. Like the video. Dislike the video. But have an actionable item. Rudy's Rant. We talk facts over feelings. Come on now.